Hey everybody, I am Jutotep, the goddess astrologer and alchemical initiatrix. We're going to get into today's astrology and pull some cards. There is a lot of magic afoot, so let me share the chart with you. I know the video is a little grainy because I'm doing this at night, so just disregard. This will be bright as fuck. It's so bright for me because I'm in the dark. Anyways, we have the sun in Taurus at 7 degrees today. It's nearing Uranus, where it's going to be conjunct on Saturday for this new moon solar partial eclipse. This is a powerful energy. We won't feel this energy for 18 years. This is an energy that will cut away old things, that will cut away things we no longer want in our life. It might cut away some things that we're surprised by because Uranus is here. So it's going to be the unexpected. It's going to be the unpredictable. This eclipse is the unpredictable. So what is changing and shifting in our lives? We can't really say until after, but definitely make concerted effort to purposely be thinking about and moving towards what you know you want to release and let go of. I did a powerful episode on forgiveness on the Light Goddess podcast today. So if you haven't listened to that, please do so. It will help you tremendously. It has real actionables and powerful messages, especially towards the end. There's some powerful ideas in there. So this North Node here in Taurus at 22 degrees, Mercury has passed over it. So Mercury is going to be going into its shadow for Mercury retrograde, and has a trine today to Pluto, which it means, Pluto is power structures. Pluto is death. So it's what is dying, and what is dying is Capricorn structure. So in the world, it's the large institutions, the large educational systems, governments, banking, all of the largest institutions and functions and structures in our society breaking down for the new to grow through the sidewalks in its place. So it's like the flower growing through the sidewalks. That's what's happening, is the sidewalks breaking up and cracking, and the new beauty, all the spiritual energy here with Pisces, all of this divine love, this soul energy coming through, and on this Taurus creating and building and growing what's of value and what's worthy of us, truly worthy of soul and heart and divine love, is growing through the sidewalk cracks of this Pluto and Capricorn here at the last degrees. Pluto will go retrograde the 29th, the day before the eclipse. And so Mercury is going to be sharing with us many things. However, since it's nearing to go in retrograde, we don't know. It's trickster energy. We don't know if those are real, if those are imagined. Then Venus is here conjunct Neptune today. So Venus will conjunct Neptune exact today. So it's Venus is exalted in Pisces, and Neptune, of course, is the modern ruler of Pisces. And so it's Mercury with not knowing whether this is the truth, or this is something that we want to believe, or is it looking from all sides, because it's good to play devil's advocate and have a hermetic view of things and look from multiple views, and then above the duality in general. And then with Venus conjunct Neptune, it can be not seeing the whole picture, and Neptune is pictures, Neptune is the media, and so it's like not seeing the reality, not seeing the truth behind the curtain, not seeing what's somebody that's moving cards on a table like out in the street, or balls underneath plastic cups. It's like not seeing where it actually goes, even though you think you do, and you're like, no, I know it's that cup, and then lifts it up and it's not there, or the person was able to sneak it into their hand and it was under the cup all the way. So that's kind of what this Mercury is like, where you don't know if the ball was under the cup and they put it in their hand as they lifted it, or if it was never under that cup. Regardless, they're telling you it's not under that cup. So that's kind of how this Mercury is. And then going through the retrograde, it's where take care of your technology, update, backup things, begin doing that now if you haven't already. Be aware that this is in Taurus, so it's more, so you have this air, earth, this air Gemini energy in an earth sign, a fixed earth sign. So it's going to be affecting our minds in relation to our stability, our self-worth, our values, and really causing some inner reflection. When a planet goes retrograde, it's really about that inner reflection of everything. But again, reflecting is conscious pondering. It's useful. It's not just letting our mind take over and control us and puppet us around and just go rambling wherever, because our minds are not useful. Our heart knows everything we need to know, where we're meant to go, what we're meant to do. And so with this reflection that will be going on with Mercury going into its shadow and then going into retrograde, we want to be aware to reflect consciously with purpose and with intention, and not just letting our minds ramble around in a way that just doesn't serve us. It's not useful, especially with the South Node in Scorpio that can psychologize everyone and be trying to figure out and calculate everybody's behavior and why they're doing this and why they're doing that, and really up in the psychodynamics and the dramas. Like, let go of all of that for this North Node, where we're meant to grow into as humanity, to live these Taurus values. What's beautiful? What's of worth? What has value? What's worthwhile to do? What means something? What can you make into a better quality? What can you do just a 1% better every day? That's what this North Node is asking us. It's asking us to realize the abundance that we're living in right now, that the earth and this life is our resource, that we have gifts. Taurus is about the gifts and the talents that we have ourselves. Most people don't know it because they didn't even get a chance to recognize it within themselves, because it's so reinforced to be powerless in this world, to be in the stories, to be in the problems, to be in the why you can't, instead of the like, I'm making this, I'm creating this. Of course it might take 10 years, and so what? Like, what's time? Time's a spell anyways. Everything's happening all at once, all the lifetimes. There's a channeler that channeled Nostradamus, and she was channeling him when he was still alive. All time is happening simultaneously. It's kind of like when you call somebody in the UK, it's 6 hours ahead. Well, depending on where you're at in the States, well, their time is their existence. You're talking at the same time. It's happening at the same time, even though technically their time is 6 hours, is 8 p.m. at night, and your time is at 3 p.m. during the afternoon, right? It's getting dark by them and it's light by you, but that's time is just all an illusion, right? So we want to be aware of this. These trines can make it to where we don't move our own power forward, with Mercury going into shadow and then Pluto going to be going retrograde as well. And then having a trine here, trine can be pleasant, like really sitting in your power and really having a great Mercury understanding of that and communicating that clearly with people. But it could also be just a cloudiness about your power and not moving on your power and stepping into it and being very clear-headed about it. So we want to be clear. With Black Moon Lilith and Gemini, Mercury's sign, we want to be aware of where we don't stand in our power, where we let power be abused over us, where we abuse our own power. Is that happening in our lives? We want to move out of that, of course, and heal that, forgive ourselves to move forward. Where are the little ways we might be doing it? And where have we let ourselves go into things that are not of our highest light in our life? And it's this great time to heal that. Lilith will help us go into the shadow and go into the darkness to transform it. However, we do have to move through it and not stay in it. And this Pisces energy can bring up karma, and it can bring up sentimentality and nostalgia. It can bring up pains and staying in sadnesses. And so we don't want to do that. We want to be in this Venus, this love and beauty, this relationships harmony of soul. So what's the soul relationships? What is the harmony and balance and peace in your life that's coming from your heart driven, not from your ego driven, not from your mind? Like, I really want this in my mind. And where can you detach from materialism? Because Uranus and Taurus is helping us to detach from materialism, which keeps us in the karmic loop, like wanting to have things, wanting to have the money. You have to hold two disparate thoughts in mind at the same time, not being attached to the money or having or the any of it, and really just not needing it. Like, really, that's a massive place where humanity can grow. The Western culture, it's been this big spell, especially since the 80s, to keep women, to keep people in the spell, the cycle of just getting and chasing money, and then connect it to survival, and bam, you got this recipe for never actually doing your soul mission, your sacred calling, your life of purpose, motivated from love. It's been motivated by money and abundance and manifestation, which is all up in the spiritual community, which we as light goddesses have to really dismantle from the spiritual community and be that light that helps even those in the spiritual community deconflate manifestation and money and materialism from soul. It doesn't mean you don't want things or don't want to have things or don't enjoy it all. It's that you're not attached to needing it, to having to have it, that it means anything about you or your self-worth. And that's what we're really doing with all this Taurus energy, or like changing where our self-worth is coming from, that it's coming from inside us, that it's coming from knowing our intrinsic value and what we bring to this world, that we bring value, that we matter, that our purpose matters, that we're doing something really important in this world, changing the world for humanity. And so really standing together, and it's stronger. It's easier to stand in that when you have other people around you that are standing in their sacred calling too, and co-signing that same narrative. It's easier to be strong when those around you are strong. And so that's why I recommend you come into the Light Goddess Sisterhood. The link is on thegoddessastrologer.com. It's a page on that website that you can go to sign up. We're doing full moon ceremonies. We're doing astrology jams. We're doing card reading jams, dance jams. So it's going to be jam-packed. It's going to be a really amazing container for all of us to be on the journey together, to share gifts, and to have people who are doing the same things, so that we have people around us that are on the same path and mission. With Saturn squaring the nodes at 24 degrees, has moved from 23 degrees to 24 degrees in Aquarius. It's asking us, the square is loosening, but it's asking us to make commitments to our mission, to our soul, to what's beautiful, to the practicality of beauty, to knowing abundance is the resources within yourself. Knowing abundance is what you can create, that it's a different view of abundance, that it's not being attached to having to have, but it's more understanding the abundance that the earth is in general, like being an earth citizen, a galactic citizen, a universal citizen, rather than really attached to this earthly plane and getting in all the things that the commercials, the the business circles, the business groups, all of them can keep us kind of entangled in, which keeps us in karmic loops. And it has a square to the south node, which is asking us, hey, because we skew the south node always in the negative, because that's where we're moving away from, but we want to take the gifts from it. Pardon me. And so the gifts of Scorpio is the depth, it's self-intimacy, it's deep intimacy with life, the eroticism of life, the beauty of life, like the pleasure of just a wind blowing on your face, the sunshine shining down, the birds chirping, that a robin, you can consider their chirping in the morning sometimes so annoying, or you can just be like, oh, I just love their like chirping, because it's not, it's just this, it's this beauty, it's this abundance. And so Vesta here holding the sacred altar for the highest frequency. And Juno in Pisces at 2 degrees is asking us to feel our emotions around our relationships, to heal what needs to be healed, to go into the shadow, to look at what needs to be looked at. Mars at 9 degrees in Pisces is taking action from a spiritual place. However, Mars and Pisces can really only have so much steam. With all this Pisces energy, we can really have a lot more tiredness. Take your naps, but then get up and play and create and go back into it. It's not the kind of tiredness that you just have to just that something happened and you're tired and you have to take the whole week or whatever. It's just that you might need naps. Truly, you might need more downtime, and realize that with Mars and Pisces here, that you may only have so much get it doneness each day. So be aware of that. The moon having moved into Aries today at 1 degrees by 2 p.m. Eastern time will be really having maybe quick reactions to karma coming up, to the challenge and difficulty. It may be having quick reactions to your value being questioned by other people, or the perception, Mercury, of your value being questioned, to communications from other people about value and worth, or their value and worth, or that whole back and forth scenario, right? And with the sun at 7 degrees in Taurus today, it's asking us to connect to spirit around our self-worth, have those conversations with our guides and our angels, be in connection, take deep breaths, go within, do that deep inner work, because the sacred calling, that's the playtime. But not if we're not doing our work, then it won't feel like it. This Chiron at 13 degrees of Aries is asking us about our ego and where that comes up, where it's wounded, to look at the wound of belonging, look at the wound of our beliefs that just aren't serving us. Are our beliefs serving us or taking us down? Is the thoughts in our mind putting us down, judging, comparing? And it's asking us to come into our heart and to build this healthy ego from our heart. We have all of these light green lines here. Those are quintiles and biquintiles. So there's a lot of creativity. There's a lot of problem solving today. So there can be a lot of problem solving around your soul mission today. There's a lot of potential for that. There's a lot of potential for solving old issues around mother issues, around your shadow and sexual issues, or where you were subservient, where you lost your power, where power was taken over you, and where there needs to be this death and rebirth. So there can be a lot of problem solving here today. So let that happen. And there can be a little bit of adjusting of just kind of this back and forth, like teeter totter, like not quite like fully flowing of the South Node energy of maybe wanting to psychologize and being like, no, we're actually gonna go into it and let it problem solve today. We're gonna let it heal. We're gonna ask for those divine solutions and those divine miracles, the recontextualization of our experiences, so we can let it go and move forward. These septiles here are flashes of insight. They're peculiar. They're really out of this world. And so Chiron to Vesta, like where we're holding the sacred altar and where we're healing in ourselves, can have like very peculiarities and just kind of otherworldliness. So this chart really has some otherworldliness to it. It has very spiritual, extra metaphysical dimensions today. So be aware of that. This Pisces energy has Mars has a sextile to the sun, so there's just this vitality of your inner resources along with the taking action energy. There's a lot of help there and support. There is this sextile from the north node to Venus and Neptune. And again, there is this, you got to reach for it. You got to reach for spirit. You got to reach for your destiny and mission. But when you're in it, you get a lot of support and a lot of help. So go in, and by being on sacred calling, you'll be happier. I'm going to pull this off here now and pull some cards. Sorry, it's grainy. It's just nighttime where I'm at. I have gloves on because it's like 50 degrees. So I did this episode on the Light Goddess podcast today. I hope you've listened to it. Forgiveness is what it's called. Because it's really, this card has been coming up over and over. I've just been getting the energies in the collective that it's really about accepting what has happened in our lives so we can take this eclipse and move the fuck forward, so we can go on with our lives into the beautiful spiritual story. So it's about letting go and forgiving. So it's like, what do you have to forgive? Like, take that hour and journal. I go through it all in the podcast. I go through tangible actionables to journal and really ask yourself like where you're not forgiving and why, and go into it. Do you need radical forgiveness? Do you need to just simply, do you need some healing? Do you need to get coaching? What do you need to be able to let it go and realize that any place you have unforgiveness, you're attached to karma. And so this is really important this week, and this has been coming up. This is one of the themes of this eclipse, is forgive the lack of abundance, forgive spirit for money issues, forgive yourself for not being able to do what you thought you should have been able to do, which is all perception. And it's not really being compassionate with yourself, Pisces. Where have you not forgiven other people for not supporting you and not valuing you? Where's other people not valued you and you have leftover resentments or bitterness? Where have you not valued yourself? Can you go in and forgive yourself for every area that you can? This is super important. What else wants to come forward? 10 cards. I love pulling cards. So we're going to do some card readings in the Light Goddess Sisterhood. We have light. So feed your light. What lifts you up? What keeps you in that high frequency? What nourishes you and supports you? What journaling do you need to do, or meditation, or lighting candles, or dancing? What do you need to do to support yourself? So important. And this card has come up many times. And this eclipse, it is light, right? It's like punching, it's like a punch out thing where you punch the star at the pizza joint or whatever. It's like, it's a punch out in our vision for our destiny, for the spiritual life that we really want to live, for the soul, for the real life. So be in that energy as much as you can. Obviously, if it's not truth, if it's not your real feelings, do your emotional skills, get out your spiritual gig bag, get your brain coached, come into coaching, work with your chart. Not using your chart is like going on a mountain hike up Everest without the oxygen, without the coat, without the map, without the Sherpa, without, the rope, without the lantern, without a tent, without food. I mean, that's what not using your astrology chart and knowing your chart and starting to get to know like literally where all your planets are in your chart and all of that is like I know where every planet is in my chart. I know what house it's in. I know what degree it's in. I know what house it's in other house systems. You don't have to go that deep, but I know I'm getting to know my helio and starting to memorize that. And I know my aspects. Like, you want to know your chart because there's all these planets aspecting your chart. So you want to know how Uranus, how this solar eclipse, where it's hitting you. I did the sun sign horoscopes on Monday, but where is it hitting you in your natal too? Because that's your helio. So it's like, where is it hitting you in your chart and what aspects are happening? It's really going to be a profound help for making great decisions, for capitalizing on the energies, and for moving on soul sacred calling easier. Relax, everything's okay. So any the anxieties, the stresses, or whatever, let all that go. Anything that disturbs you is not for you. Anything that disturbs you is not for you. So let it go. Like, people talking about stuff, and your mind and ego might find it really interesting, but it disturbs your heart and it makes you anxious and scared and paranoid. Fuck that shit. Seriously, let it go. Like, for example, all this ascension stuff, aliens and this, that, and the other, you might love it, but it's like making you just on edge and kind of anxious all the time. Is that really helping your frequency? So relax. Everything's going to be okay. Everything is okay. Pets, be with your pets. Spend time with them. They are here for us to raise our vibration, to help us know happiness. A dog's wagging tail is actually a very high on the map of consciousness. If you Google the map of consciousness, if you don't know what I'm talking about, there's actually a calibrated map of consciousness, and a dog's tail wagging is very high. No tail wagging, it's not as high. It's in the 200s or something. Tail wagging, I think it's almost 540, which is, unconditional love. So it's powerful to be with our animals. I have 2 rabbits, and my bunny sitter just sent me a video today, and I was like, my babies, they're all adorable. My rabbits are amazing. They just have the most amazing personalities. Your patience will be rewarded. So worth the wait we have for like the greater creation. So I talk about the dream a lot, living the dream, because we're spelled in society not think that to be destination focused, which is anti-feminine. It's anti-divine feminine. It's not non-linear. We're non-linear. We work non-linearly. So for example, what some of the things I do on projects, I have to set up a structure for myself, but then I work that structure in spirals and non-linear, and I come back to this place and then go to this place. And it took me a while to really get out of the linear spell masculine madness. And with all of society's like, you have to do it, and this is the only way to be successful. It was a lot to get there, I'll tell you, but it's so much more magical and flowing and just feels good and feels right. And it's the way I work anyways. It's just like, oh my gosh. And it just flows. And so we're always working towards our bigger vision, but live your vision now. Live the vibes, the experience of it, the frequency of it, the emotions of it, because what you want the emotion of that. So say you want a car, you've been talking about materialism. you want the emotion of it. Is it freedom? Is it the wind through your hair? What is it? And so it's like, see if you can give yourself that experience and really appreciate what you have, and then keep working towards that. It's the experience that we want, but of course we want the card too, or we want the other things too. So it's like, live the dream, every part of it right now, because you can be connected to spirit and be getting the magic happening. The magic, since this conjunction is really coming in hardcore for people. If you're not seeing it, something's up. You need to go into the shadow. You need to look at emotions. You need to look at what your mind's doing. If you're not having magic rolling out and unfolding for you, something's up. You can come into a goddess call to inquire about coaching at thegoddessastrologer.com. My coaching program is called Alchemical Goddess, and we make massive transformation. You stay in breakthrough and shit shifts, and you get to live the dream immediately. Of Bobcat Spirit, which it was in reverse. Life is a mystery. The mystery is the feminine. It is the unfolding. It's letting it unfold, even how you're going to do a project, but putting the masculine structures in place. And the structures are also feminine, Capricorn. The structures are also like, I put the baby to bed at this time and get them up at this time. So it's all masculine and feminine. It's the experience, it's the vibe of it, it's how we go about it, it's the kind of like energy. And so since it's in reverse, it's saying, are you going within to be with the mystery within you of what wants to unfold within your own experience? That's quite beautiful, that you're not letting co-create with you, that you're not letting spirit play with you because you're trying to control how it's all going to look, because the mind ego wants to know every little detail or be 10 steps ahead. Can you go within and see what is trying to unfold for you that maybe you're resisting? A turtle spirit also in reverse, slow and steady wins the race. So really it's saying in reverse that there's some urgency, you got to get it done. This eclipse will have that kind of energy, like, I just got it, I just have to do it, or not even knowing what you have to do, but I have to do something. So know that that can be the energy of this eclipse, and that's not the case. So letting go of that urgency and that just hurried, rushed, got to go around buzzy in the mind energy, bring it down, ground, breathe, do whatever you need to do to ground, bring the mind down into the body to be present. Lemon balm is great. Kava tea is great. Walking, exercising, getting it out, and really setting clear understanding, like, no, this is what I want to accomplish for today. Remember, we got that card, relax, everything's okay. That's what it's talking about, is like, just let go of that urgency. We have wasp spirit, that sometimes life stings, that we do have challenge, pain, and loss. And it's about healing it. Forgiveness is up, right? It's about accepting the challenge, pain, and loss. But what does it take to accept it? It might take healing. It might take coaching. It might take going into those brambles. It might take just radical acceptance. It might take, a perception shift. What is it take? What do you need to be able to the other thing that's really important is get the lesson. You don't get that lesson and repeat over and over. So make sure you get that lesson out of what the hell that challenge is at this thing. Swan spirit, time for a deep dive, going within, meditation, gather inward, go into that feminine space, be with you. What do you need? What do you need to think, feel, hear? What are you thinking, feeling, hearing? What are you seeing? It's so important to really be in touch with your instincts as woman. Know your no, know your yes. What do we're the Aries, the moon just moved into Aries knows, I don't like this, I do like this, I want that, I don't like that, and it's very assertive about it, and it's just, this is the way it is. And that can trigger people who are not assertive about what they like and don't like. So, and if you have a Libra South node in your own birth chart, then that might be very, very hard for you. We have Beaver spirit, lay a solid foundation. It's in reverse. So it's saying, where in your life are there holes where you're not putting in a solid foundation? That could be really, it's inner. It's like the emotional foundation. Are you working emotional mastery? Takes a couple years or more to really get emotional mastery. So why wouldn't you start today if you're not doing that? Emotional mastery is something we need to be a human in a body, to be a light goddess, to be doing powerful work and speaking your voice, speaking in front of people, building your platform, doing the soulpreneurship, being a loud woman's voice out in the world, the divine feminine, and changing the world. Like, okay, so I got this card again. It's really important to look at our foundations, and Taurus is all foundations. Taurus is foundation. It's the bricks at the bottom of the house. It's the cement being poured upon the house. It's procuring all the things you need, the warmth, the clothing, the goods. That's why it is associated with possessions, because it's like you feel great when you have great clothes on. You feel good when your clothes are comfortable and fit well, when they look good on you. You feel great when you have a shower. You feel great when you do yourself up. You feel great when everything's clean and the drawers are clean. There's not clutter everywhere. You feel good when you're prepared with the stuff you're going to need for the day. You have snacks on you and you have plenty of water, and you're really thinking about that we are ascending. So we need more water than usual. We need to feed ourselves good food. We need to listen to the cues of our body and stop going by a time spell schedule. Take naps when you need them. Nourish yourself. There's a lot of fatigue energy with this energy. So this is a powerful week. Please subscribe and like this channel, help more women find it. Please share it. Please share it on social media, with your text it to your friends, to other people. Please get it out there so more women can find this uplifting material and have this daily energetic help. And the Light Goddess podcast, 6 days a week, powerful episodes. The next two days, powerful episodes. I hope you'll check those out. Come into the Light Goddess Sisterhood, full moon ceremonies. We're stronger when we're around other people who are strong. It's easier to stay on sacred calling, to stay on changing the world when we're all doing it together, and we're supporting each other, when we're supporting each other, forgiving each other, supporting each other, going into the shadow, and doing that inner work. It's really powerful to be around people who are doing that inner work and who get it and are not just in a complaining space or a problem place, but are really just doing inner work, and we can witness each other. So that's what it's all about. And I needed that. Over 200 women I talked to in the last 2 years have been craving that. So come on in. The link, you can go sign up at the goddessastrologer.com under the Light Goddess Sisterhood. So also astrology readings, you can book that at the goddessastrologer.com on the website. With me personally, come into an astrology reading if you haven't had your natal chart done. A lot of clients work with their chart to look at transits and what's going on quarterly or monthly. And then Alchemical Goddess is my coaching program. It's a powerful program where you will transform the shit that's holding you back and not letting you shine your light. What is up for you? What's on your heart? That's what we will transform, and you will have help and support on the spiritual journey, and you will get to know yourself through your chart like never before. It will be so magical. I promise you. You'll learn things about yourself. You will grow self-love in ways that you didn't think were possible. You'll bring compassion and self-acceptance in pockets within yourself that you're like, I didn't even know this was here. That's how powerful the astrological shamanic coaching that I do with your charts and the work, transformational work I do. So I love you being here, and thank you for being here, and I'll talk to you soon.